get this real quick. You know, for the fans. Hey, he got his hat on. I got my hat on too. What's up, everybody? This is week 3 of the Crow and Oso show. I'm Crow.
It's Oso.
You know, we're gonna do what we usually do. First and foremost, we're gonna say that it was a crazy ass week of football. What you got to say about that before we even get into it, bro?
Definitely a lot of bad football still being played. Still feels like the preseason, but some teams are starting to stand out. Some teams are starting to stand off. So we'll go over it right now as a unit.
You know, all right, we're going to go through a couple of the scores that we had last week just to go over a couple of games. And first, we're going to talk about the Thursday night matchup, the Minnesota Vikings versus the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm going to let you handle that first before I say what I got to say.
Just want to give a shout out to my brother from another mother. At this point, probably the same mother. My boy Jonathan got me the Eagles link from Go Shop. I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, what's up, bro? I mean, we friends too.
I'm going to wear this for the rest of the year, every Sunday. So I appreciate you. But to the game real quick. 2 words. DeAndre Swift. We found something. I don't know if I said it on camera last week, but I told him off camera. The Eagles dominated last year with time of possession. Out of the 60 minutes, we had the ball for 40 minutes of it. It kind of made me think about the Super Bowl. I'm going to mention that a lot this year. Because if we would have, even though Jalen Hurts threw the ball outstanding in the Super Bowl, if he would have ran the ball a little bit more and controlled time of possession a little bit more, we would have been champions right now. So let's get back to our roots. Let's get back to what even took us to the Super Bowl. Hurts can throw when he has to throw, but let's run the ball down people's throats. At one point, we were up 27-7. I thought we were back. And then defense, like I said, that secondary is just bad right now. I mean, yeah, we didn't have Blankenship. We didn't have Bradbury. You know, we didn't have Dean. But I just feel like, regardless of the injuries, even in week 1, Mac Jones was throwing all over us. So it's like, I have a major concern with our Eagles pass defense. And then we just lost Avante Maddox, our slot corner, like for the year with like a torn pectoral. So that's been definitely a point of concern. Howie Roseman, you know, work your magic with a trade. You know, I don't know, what it is you do. Fleece another team and help us out in the secondary because we need it. The offense, aside from Jalen Hurts' 2 bombs to Devontae Smith, looked really stagnant, aside from the running game. So I don't know if it's a new offensive coordinator thing that's going on, but I mean, I just feel like it has to be figured out, and it has to be figured out fast because, unfortunately, that stupid star is coming. So, but I'm very hopeful. I thought we showed more in game 2 than we did in game 1. And like Jalen Hurts said, we're a work in progress. We're going to get better every week. We stay humble over here, not like that star over there. We stay humble. But either way, 2-0.
All right, I'm going to tell everybody the good stuff before I go to the bad stuff. All right, the good stuff is your defensive line is legit. We already knew it was a beast of a line, but it just continues to get confirmed week after week after week. Jordan Davis looked good.
Beautiful.
I'm seeing improvement. Like I feel like sometimes he doesn't play as big as he actually is, and I think that he contributed to the defense's success this game. But Carter is Carter.
Jalen Carter has already won Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, personally, I don't think that there's anybody else that's close. And the pursuit of quarterbacks is amazing with Reddick. Reddick is just phenomenal. The good thing is, Swift did what I said Swift was going to do. So, which transitions to the bad. I'm going to say this. Do you remember what I said? What did you say was the weakest part of y'all's team?
Offensively or defensively? The weakest part? Offensively?
Yeah.
The weakest part was the running game.
Right. He said that. I was like, no, y'all got Swift. And you didn't believe me. I said that this boy is a proven beast. Even though he didn't get as many touches and he didn't get 1,000 yards with Detroit, he was splitting time. And I was like, oh no, he's just behind somebody that needs to allow him to move. They need to let this boy fly. And clearly, 100 and what is it, 75?
175.
Stop. And between the tackles of Lane and Kelsey and the rest of stop it.
And then it should be noted to that point really quick. DeAndre Swift had the most rushing yards of any Eagles running back since LaShawn McCoy. It's been years. So, I mean, that was a bright spot in the game. I'm very excited. If you have him in fantasy, congratulations. He's only going to get better.
Yeah, I personally believe that y'all's front office is amazing. Y'all have like one of the best front offices right now because y'all are making all of the right moves. Yeah. Another great thing, Devontae Smith. He had a great job. But this is what I will say about that. I feel like I still don't believe that Smith is number one. I still don't believe that. Even with that, right? I'm not saying that he's not good.
Yeah.
I think he's like a top tier level 2, if at best bottom 1,
yeah,
right?
I'll give you that.
And the reason why is because he had 4 receptions for 131 yards. 131 yards. If you go back and look at the tapes, the defense that they played on this man was downright Pop Warner. It was terrible. You're going to let a fast guy who weighs 102 pounds run straight by you and don't put an arm on him?
Well, I think that touchdown he scored was just pure blown coverage.
But it was no, it wasn't blown. He was terrible.
Well, it looked like I forgot who was playing quarterback for the Vikings.
Evans. It was Evans.
Yeah, it looked like he was counting on the safety to be there. So if you see the replay, like he looked, and when he saw Smith run past him, he was like he put his hands up like.
But it happened twice.
Like he was expecting.
It happened all game.
Yeah, but the first catch that Smith had, he had to go over the top. Poorly thrown ball by Jalen Hurts, by the way. But he had to go over the top. Spectacular catch. Devontae Smith is definitely wide receiver 2 on our team. AJ Brown, we'll get to that in like a minute if he wants to get to that. But
I do.
Yeah, it's well, I think we're solid though.
Yeah, I think that like I said, they're both weapons, no doubt. Like I'm not trying to take anything away from them. I just think that it was terrible play by the cornerbacks. I feel like the Vikings are terrible when it comes to their defense. They've been bad. 100%. Their secondary has been bad. I don't care who's been there, but I believe that the Eagles still executed. I don't care if they blown coverage or not. You're open, right? You got to hit your man. You got to catch it, and they both did that. So I will give them that. Jalen Hurts.
Like I said.
Wait.
Go ahead.
I said what I said about Jalen Hurts week 1, right? And I was called a hater.
Still are.
Say what you want to say, right? Jalen Hurts. Let's get the calculator out real quick. Jalen Hurts, right now, for that game, had. Can you read that for me? Okay. How many yards does he have?
There's first of all only 5 incompletions.
Okay, right.
18 for 23.
Okay, 18 for
193.
Okay, if he had 193, right, and one receiver who's not even the number 1 because of blown coverage had 131 yards, you take that away from him. My man had 62 yards in the air.
I'll give y'all context. It's fine.
Okay. My man had 62. You take Devontae's. You know what? He had a 68 and a 54.
What does that even mean, though?
That means that if it wasn't for blown coverage, you would have terrible numbers.
Okay.
Is that no? Just answer that. Just answer me that.
No, I don't agree.
Okay, so look, I've still got my calculator. So you had 68-yard pass, right? That's your long from Devontae Smith. No, it's 63. Sorry, 63 plus 54 equals 117. Right? He had 193 minus 1.
Well, he threw 2 bombs to Smith.
Right.
Okay.
63 yards and 54 yards, right? And that equals 117. So if you subtract those 2 big-ass plays from terrible play from the Vikings' trash defense, he had 76 yards. So you don't even have 100 yards if it wasn't for terrible play. And he threw 23 times.
I understand.
So the efficiency don't mean jack.
I understand that.
If I throw to somebody 2 yards for 23 times, for 20 times, it's going to look like my completion percentage is off the charts, but I'm not doing any damage.
If you think about it, though, okay, quarterbacks that throw 300-400 yards in one game have 30 to 40 attempts. Let's just put that out there first, okay? There was a play after Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown had like a little like sideline scuffle, whatever that was. Right after that, he hit Brown on 3 straight snaps. That third snap, he hit AJ Brown for a touchdown that was called back for a bogus holding call on, I believe, Rashad Penny. That was a bogus holding call. So that would have been another touchdown. It was a beautiful throw. He was literally about to, I guess he was like, I don't know if he was running. Stop. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Come on.
He was running towards the sideline. He was getting chased, and he threw a dot to Brown in the corner of the end zone. It was a perfectly thrown ball. I don't want to hear that. Then
No, that was a good pass.
Yeah, and then
that was a good pass.
And then
But
it was called back because of holding. Then the next throw, it was PI on AJ Brown where he threw another dot where it would have hit Brown's hands like this, and there was no flag caught on that. So throwing wise, I'm okay with Jalen Hurts. Again, it's a new offensive coordinator. He threw a dot to AJ Brown that was called back for holding on Rashad Penny, and then he threw another dot to AJ Brown that would have hit his hands. And then I forgot again. I don't know if it was Evans. I forgot who the safety was, who like the corner was. But clearly there was contact on Brown's hands before the ball got there, and there were two perfectly thrown balls. And again, it was a rushing attack game, and we were very dominant in the rushing game. It's okay. We control time of possession. 40 minutes of 60 minutes of playing time. That's dominance. He didn't have to throw the ball. Keep doubting Jalen Hurts. Keep doing what he's doing. It's okay. Cowboys Nation, y'all excited early. It always happens every year.
I thought we were talking about the Eagles. We're going to talk about the Cowboys. You see,
two
can't even wait.
Together.
Can't even wait.
Okay. Jalen Hurts is staying humble. He said we're a work in progress. New offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator, and our goal is to get better every week. It's okay. We're humble over here. It's fine. We're good. Jalen Hurts is fine. He signed that contract for a reason. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and we're going to find out why really soon. Y'all going to see. Y'all going to see.
Who y'all play the first week?
At New England, which you saw, Miami scored less than we did. So, I mean, if you want to take it there, like, the Eagles have had tougher opponents week 1 and 2 than
they scored less than you did, but how much did your defense score?
Just one.
So if you take that away, do they score more than you?
Okay, so we're talking about like 4 more points. That's it.
So
Bill Belichick had a real defense, was what we're saying. And then Brian Flores, which was the defensive coordinator for the Vikings, was just under Coach Bill Belichick. So like they're playing cover 0. So if they're trying to take away Hurts' passing game, playing cover 0, okay, fine. So we'll just run the ball and control time of possession, like I said. Bro, we're going to be fine. We're good. It's fine. 2-0.
2-0. Good job, Hurts. Stay hot. I think you're doing...
He's only going to get better, bro. Watch.
With all this trash I'm talking about, Jalen, I will say this.
Why you admit it's trash?
It is trash.
Mm-hmm.
He is. So, but I will say this. He is the ultimate professional. Yeah. No matter how much Brown... Because Brown wasn't yelling at the refs. He was yelling at Jalen. And he was...
That wasn't toxic, though.
I didn't say that. I just said he was, brothers argue all the time, right? Yeah. But there's a reason why he's yelling. He's not yelling for nothing. Yeah. Now, do I believe he's being a bit of a diva? Yeah. Smith is eating. Bro, you can't be mad because somebody else eating. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you're not going to be the number one every single game. But I don't know if it means nothing. Like Eagles Nation, these people are saying it's nothing. I don't think it's nothing.
It means nothing.
It may not be big, but it's not nothing.
It's not like Dez trying to yell at Dak or like Tony Romo. See, that was toxic.
I'm glad you know our history.
It proved to you in the playoffs why it was so toxic because they never got the job done. We're not toxic.
I love how you love our history. So, I will say
pretty bad history lately.
I will say this. I think that it may bloom to something. It may be nothing. But I believe it's something that they need to address. Because clearly, their offense, passing-wise, hasn't been the greatest. I get the first week because it was raining. This week it was not. So I'm not saying that if it wasn't for those 2 big plays, it looked stagnant. Unbiasedly, as a fan, as a football fan, I would say that there's some things that they need to address.
Yeah.
But outside of that, the ground attack more than made up for it because that line and Swift, and I don't know why you had Gainwell over him to begin with, first and foremost. I don't know why he was the running back 2.
I feel like that's more of a move from Coach Sirianni.
I agree.
Not showing the league everything all at first. I just feel like he's very methodical. I know so. He even said it. He even said in preseason, we were really trying everything. Like he said, their first month of the season.
I mean, game 1 though. Against the Patriots defense, you're just gonna hold back? Why?
No, the Patriots defense is solid. Like they just showed against Miami, another high-powered offense. So that's what I'm saying. So like, I'm not as concerned as I was week 1, week 2. I saw a lot more. And like I said, once Jalen Hurts and Brown had that little like scuffle, he hit Brown for 2 passes that were both dots, and one was called back, and the other they missed a defensive pass interference.
Yeah.
We're going to be all right, bro. We're going to be all right. I'm not saying we're going to be the best team, but I'm saying the Eagles are going to be all right. Like I said, we're top 3 for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about that.
Yeah. Brown had 29 yards in the air.
So
next. Yeah?
It's not going to happen much more often. It's not.
I agree with that. I told you what I think about Brown. I was just talking about facts, what he had. I'm not talking about what he's going to do.
That's fine.
All right, wait. 2-0 still. 2-0.
Yeah.
Next game, Green Bay against Atlanta. Atlanta won 25 to Green Bay 24.
Green Bay, sorry for the hype that I gave y'all, but, we're back to square one.
I think it was just terrible calling from the coaches and stuff. I don't understand why Atlanta shouldn't have won. They were already winning. I don't know how you let them come back. You stopped running, so.
We got to give Bijan his flowers. I don't know why you said you weren't so high on him, but the boys' moves are nasty.
No. I said, I agree with you about being Rookie of the Year. Yeah. Out of Texas, I wasn't impressed because I was like, they were playing the Big 12 defense. And I was like, I'm not impressed with the small teams that you're playing. You're not putting up huge numbers. But, I mean, they could have just taken them out early. So, I mean, that's the thing. I've never, his ability, his explosiveness, he's what people are hoped Barkley was going to be, Saquon was going to be. But we'll talk about his porcelain bones in a minute. Yeah. Las Vegas versus Buffalo. Buffalo wins 38-10.
There is the Bills I was looking for. Very, very dominant win. Like I said, I think the Bills are top 3 in the AFC. And I expected this game to pretty much go this way, and I'm glad it did.
All right, Baltimore versus Cincinnati. Baltimore wins 27, Cincinnati 24.
I still think Baltimore are pretenders. I think Cincinnati's figuring out some things identity-wise. Almost like the Eagles, but except the Eagles are 2-0. Thank God, but the Bengals are 0-2.
Yeah.
But just like last year, the Bengals started out really slow and still
Exactly.
made the AFC Championship. I expect them to figure it out sooner rather than later.
I mean, I'm not going to call Joe Burrow out of any race. I don't care if they start 0-4. I'm going to be like, it's not over.
Yeah.
Joe is still a problem. So I don't know what they need to figure out, but Joe is going to be there. And like you said, I think the Ravens are pretenders.
Mm-hmm.
OBJ is out again. Like, stop it.
Yeah.
Bro. Why? And here's my problem. Why are you demanding so much money to be playing 2 games and be like, well, I'm not going to play if it's not for this? Stop paying this man.
Yeah.
Because all he does more activity dancing on Instagram than he does on the field. And he doesn't get hurt doing that. So I'm trying to figure out why he's even talked about right now, because you're embarrassing yourself.
Not only that, hold on, sorry, but there's rumors that Odell's dating Kim Kardashian now. We already know what happens with the Kardashian curse.
Well, you know who I heard she was dating before him?
Who?
Aaron Rodgers. So if he's hurt, and then I heard they were talking. I don't know if that's the case. I'm just spreading rumors. But from what I heard, I thought that they were talking. I don't know if that's the case or not. But if that's true,
might be.
Leave him alone. Leave him alone.
Yeah.
Why are y'all dealing? That's a whole nother topic.
Yeah.
All right, Seattle versus Detroit. Seattle wins 37-31 in overtime.
One of the games of the week. I thought Detroit would have handled business at home, but Seattle showed resilience and made sure that they didn't start 0-2. So pressure Geno Smith, Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf. They should have shown that in week 1. So I thought they were going to lay an egg and start 0-2 being at Detroit, but they were able to pull it together and make sure they started 1-1.
Yeah, I think I spoke a little bit too soon on Detroit. I thought they were going to be a little bit better than what they are. I love the coaching and the leadership, but sometimes golf is not the golf that I thought he was going to be. Next, Los Angeles Chargers versus Tennessee. Tennessee wins 27-24.
If y'all saw last week's episode, what did I say about the Chargers? There's something about the Chargers, man. All that talent, all them points that they can score, they just find a way to lose games. And I said Tennessee, they're one of those teams where they just win at home too.
Yeah.
The Chargers, you know what? I guess make him feel good about this. Kellen Moore, you suck. Cowboys are 2-0, doing perfectly fine, and Chargers already 0-2. It's you, bruh. It's you.
And we've been saying, now I gotta speak.
Yeah.
We've been saying this about you. He's supposed to be kid genius. He's just a kid throwing in my ass. He's never helped me win. He's just always doing stuff that you don't need. And I believe, even though they didn't have Eckler, right? Now that was a factor. But when pieces fall off the board, you gotta make up for it and adjust.
Yeah.
And I think that's what he lacked.
Yeah.
He lacked adjustments. He never made adjustments. And he showed that he never does.
Also, Keenan Allen went off still. So it's like, they could have won that game.
Come
easily.
on. So I don't know. Stay where you are. Don't you ever set foot in Texas again. Stay where you at. All right.
Oh, please come back.
Chicago Bears versus Tampa Baker.
Tampa Baker. Yo, what did I say? Tampa Baker. Yo, Tampa Baker to Mike Evans is looking lethal.
It is.
But that ends week 3, I'll tell you.
We got about to say, how much faith do you have in Baker next week? All right, we got Kansas City versus Jacksonville. Wah, wah, wah.
If you guys saw our reaction to this game in the last week's episode, we both were like, ooh, because it was a very intriguing matchup.
Especially quarterback-wise.
It was the most underwhelming game of the week, I would say.
Whew.
I want to say the defenses came out to play, but it just seemed like sloppy offense to me.
Both sides.
It didn't seem like it was a great game. Travis Kelce, huge, of course. We knew that was huge.
Mm-hmm.
But the difference maker was Chris Jones. Man.
Who? Chris Jones.
I'm so glad or Kansas City fans are glad, or should be glad that they were able to figure that out, because he was truly missed, and his presence was felt immediately. So.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. It was very underwhelming. Just watching it just kind of made me want to go to sleep. Which is so crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You got, Etienne, you got Lawrence, you got, Ridley, then you got Kelsey back, you got Pat, but it just didn't pan out. I was just like, just get this over with. So
I was looking for like a 35-32 game.
Yeah.
Shootout.
Nah, I don't know. Indianapolis versus Houston.
Anthony Richardson, man, he came out to play. C.J. Stroud threw the most yards out of any quarterback. It should be noted. One of those weird games. Colts did what they had to do. Texans are still young, learning, new coach, young team.
Guess who took over?
Oh,
What did they do?
Gardner Minshew.
Did he do okay? He did okay.
He did all right.
He did all right.
For what it's worth. He managed his team.
He threw for 19 for 23 though. Guess who else did something like that?
Just one completion less.
Right, with less talent, with way less talent. He came in and he started executing immediately with less offensive talent on the outside and in the backfield.
Yeah.
They didn't even have Taylor. I'm not saying that he's amazing and he's elite. I ain't saying that at all. But I do believe that he has talent. I believe he's the better person than Richardson. But Richardson has shown me that he has some potential more than I gave him credit for. So I will say that. San Francisco versus Los Angeles, 30-23. That was a shocker.
I expected a blowout by
Me too.
San Francisco. I thought the Rams had a fluky Week 1 win because Seattle lost a bunch of linemen and stuff. They lost Tyler Lockett in the first game. But turns out the Rams, this kid named Puka Nacua is like Cooper Kupp 2.0 while he's out. And Matthew Stafford, I feel like gets a lot of hate. I feel like Matthew Stafford is better than what people make him out to be.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think my point of Dallas's defense being the number 1 overall, and I like I said, I almost want to say by a landslide, is because the Rams, without Cooper Kupp, without Cam Akers, were able to put up significant amount of points against San Francisco. Just like last year in the conference championship, the Eagles ran all over San Francisco. I don't think San Francisco is these. I think they're top 3, but I don't think they're number 1. I don't think you can't score points on them is what I'm trying to say. And if a team like the Rams can score that many points on them, then that says a lot about my take on San Francisco versus Dallas's defense.
Yeah, I don't even know who Puka is, but he just keeps showing up week after week, even though it's week 2. And I'm like, all right, well, maybe we should start focusing on this kid and seeing who he is. But he's showing up. Like you said, for them to do this without Cooper Kupp, it's crazy. And when it comes to the Matt Stafford hate, he has definitely gotten that. I, for one, was one of them where I'm like, bro, he throws too many interceptions. And it's still early, but he has shown that he can deliver the ball. He always had an arm. There's a reason why he went high in the draft, but he is showing a lot of skill. And I will also, I don't like saying this, but I will admit when I'm wrong and when you were right, Dallas does have the number 1 defense.
They do.
But I won't say by a landslide, okay? I will say this. They are a sneaky defense. They're like one of those boxers that you fight, and they're not flashy, but they tear your ribs up. And by the end of the fight, you're bruised, and you don't realize why it hurts to pee in the morning. And they are one of those teams that beat you up. And it's not flashy. It's not a lot of interceptions and fumbles. But between Bosa and Greenlaw and Warner, like, they are tough. They are tough. But they still gave up a good amount of points, which is, I think, tells where their weak spot is in secondary.
Yeah, I mean, 23 points, I mean, from a Rams team without their top star.
All right, next game, New York versus Arizona. New York Giants versus Arizona. Arizona loses to New York 31-28.
There must have been a pixie dust fairy in Arizona that was helping New York because New York was dead in the water.
So did.
They were down by 21 with I want to say 10 minutes left. And Danny Dimes.
Trash. That boy is still trash. I don't care what you say.
Even after Saquon went down, they just found something in that passing game. The defense woke up. I do think the Giants' defense should be better than how they've been playing.
Agreed.
Agreed. They got Lawrence. Their defense should be better than what they've been showing. And then
Facts.
Danny Dimes to Darren Waller to Slayton. They just did what they had to do to come back. These are games that can save a team's whole season. You know what I mean?
Right.
They could have easily started 0-2 with back-to-back blowouts, but they kept their composure, and this is a lot about a team, about a coach. Giants are still, it looks like the fourth best team in the NFC East because even the Commanders are balling right now.
Yeah.
But they did what they had to do. I mean, the Cardinals they're not good. So
it almost felt like the Cardinals were paid to lose this game because I was like, there's no way that I could see. At the beginning of the game when Dobbs ran and he trucked the safety for a touchdown, I was like, all right, y'all doing too much. Like the Giants, last week the Giants were wet trash, and I've changed my mind. This week they're dry trash because I don't care if they won or not. I was watching it and I was like, I'm still not sold. Anytime you face the Eagles, the Cowboys, or even the Commanders, you're gonna get spanked. And I'm not even worried about that at all. I think that Danny Dimes is Daddy Pity. He's trash. He's terrible. He should not get $40 million a year.
Yeah.
But that's just my personal opinion. I'm not attacking you as a person. I don't know you personally. I know you athletically, and I'd like to say
he looks like Jim Carrey with pads on.
He does. He does. He's terrible.
I want to give a shout out to my cousin. His name is Nata. He's a diehard Giants fan.
Oh.
And he wanted me to point out the fact that he was mad that you called his team wet trash. So hopefully, cousin, this week that he called your team dry trash, that's at least an upgrade.
Yeah, I tried to do better. I tried to put lipstick on a pig and still points. But the Giants are not playing like G-men.
Yeah.
They're the third best team in New York. How about that? They're the third best football team in New York.
Not bad. That's bronze.
Yeah, you still get the bronze. You still runner-up to the runner-up. So,
well, if you want to get technical, they're the second best team in New Jersey.
The next game is the second best team in New York.
New Jersey.
The Jets versus the Cowboys. I'll let you have that first, and then I'll clean it up.
Now you start.
Okay, well, I will start. I think that today, or that day, I believe that the Cowboys did an excellent job. I think that the first game we played the Giants, I really didn't care for it because I was like, the Giants are trash. They're wet trash. Sorry, cuz. But we're going to play the Jets. And even though they don't have Aaron Rodgers, I'm like, they still have a formidable defense, okay? They still got Mosley, Sauce Gardner. They got all kinds of people that can play on that defense. So for them to do what they did against that defense still shows that it confirms that they are a legit defense. I always thought that they were good, top three, Eagles, 49ers, Cowboys, but I couldn't necessarily put them at a specific point. Now it seems, and it's still early, that they may be the best, only because of the turnovers that they get. Not necessarily the stopping of the run game or the passing game, but they're like a Swiss Army knife. They do it all. They rush your quarterback. They stop the running back. They stop the receivers. I told you guys last time you're going to stop disrespecting my boy. I told you he was top 5, and they always put him at the end. Trayvon Diggs is a problem. Y'all don't want to believe me. Okay, he had 2 forced fumbles. Oh, word? I'm telling you, he better than Slay.
Because of age.
I don't care why. Tell him to retire then, so he can't get compared. I'll tell you, he got an interception. We had 3 interceptions, even though it was on Zach Wilson.
All of them were on Zach Wilson.
Micah Parsons.
The truth.
Yeah. A lion in the game.
Yeah.
Not only did he have a sack, he was a cause for a lot of sacks that other people got. Because he was always getting double team, triple team, and causing a lot of attention. Dak is still Dak. The first drive was great. The second was okay. The third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, nine were all booty meat. You really need to work on yourself. You don't spread the ball around. You keep throwing to to CD over and over and over.
I thought Gallup should have had a bigger game.
He didn't throw to him. He just never throws to Gallup.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like, why? You don't throw to our tight ends. We threw to our tight ends 3-4 times.
Yeah.
We got 2 touchdowns. And he stopped going. I don't know what it is. I think it may be Fat Carthy, but at the end of the day, it may be something that we need to address. Okay? Because when we play better teams, we're not going to be able to squeak through. So I will say that I feel like offensively that's something that we need to work on. But defensively, I'm impressed with what we need. We need to work on the big play that we had against Wilson. But that, I don't think that they're going to happen often. So that's what I have to say about the Cowboys, America's team.
Yeah, America's team, sure. I do think that Dallas is playing the best football out of the entire league right now. I was telling him after the game ended last week, I sent him a text. I'm like, if the Cowboys win the Super Bowl, which that sounds horrible. If the Cowboys win the Super Bowl, there's gonna be one person to thank, and that's Micah Parsons.
True.
Micah Parsons is essentially the Draymond Green. What Draymond Green is to the Golden State Warriors, like the heartbeat, but even on a bigger scale, because I think Micah Parsons is now the best player on that team. Period.
Agreed.
Micah Parsons is going to be the reason why the Dallas Cowboys, and I hope I'm wrong, bro. I hope I'm wrong.
No, I'll be right, man.
But Micah Parsons is the reason the Dallas Cowboys are going to go back to glory. And if they win, he's threatening right now to be the first MVP on the defensive side. I'm going to take it that far. Forget Defensive Player of the Year. I think he can be league MVP. That's how great I think this dude is.
Facts.
Okay? The Cowboys, again, and I say this every year, it's funny, I look at the roster, I don't hate Micah, I don't hate Trayvon Diggs, I don't hate Gallup, I don't hate CD, I don't even hate Dak. The Cowboys as a team, they have talent. Like, they're all, I guess, good people. Like, I don't really hate them. It's the fans that cause that rivalry. I guess like it isn't in pretty much any...
That's how I feel about Philly. I've always liked Philly because they gave black quarterbacks a chance.
I really don't hate the Cowboys as a team. I really don't hate the Cowboys. I just hate the rivalry caused out by, like us fans. And even then, we're doing a podcast together, so I got love for people, you know what I mean? So...
But I get it. I understand the hate.
Yeah. So
because I feel the same way about the Philly man.
So what I'm saying is that, and I think Coach Mike McCarthy, like I said, is also an underrated coach. I don't think he's a bad coach by any means.
I do.
Compared to Jason Garrett, though?
No. But you compare anybody to Jason Garrett, they're going to be, you know.
And somebody said, I think it was Ryan Clark, he said that this Cowboys team, offensively and defensively, looks like that Packers team that won the Super Bowl in 2011. And I was looking at it, I went back and saw some highlights. I'm like, oh, shoot, they look awfully similar. The main difference is Aaron Rodgers and Dak Prescott. That's the main difference.
That's a huge difference. I mean? That's a big fall off.
But Clay Matthews and Micah Parsons, like the comparisons were there. Like I got like why he said what he said. Now, Dak Prescott threw 2 picks that were dropped. The one to Sauce Gardner should have been a pick 6.
Should have been.
Could have changed the whole complexion of the game.
Yep.
Right? And I also think the Jets defense got tired really fast because they couldn't stay off the field. Zach Wilson was literally 3 and out like, more than 80% of the time. You know what I mean? So as good as the Jets defense was, Cowboys were able to, I guess, capitalize on that because the Jets defense couldn't stay off the field.
Agreed.
Garrett Wilson, and this is my thing about Diggs. I think Diggs makes a lot of good plays, but I also think he gets beat a lot. I do think he gets beat a lot.
But he didn't get beat with him?
Diggs got beat by Garrett Wilson when he put like a double move on him
on the outside,
end zone, and Zach Wilson grossly underthrew it. That should have been picked.
Yeah.
But
it was tipped.
Yeah, but if Zach Wilson, point is that if it was a properly thrown ball, that would have been another touchdown. Again, if you look at the game, should it have been a 30-10 blowout? I don't think so. The Jets had opportunities to make it a game. I hate to say it, but if Aaron Rodgers was in the game, it could have been a whole different story.
No, that's a completely...
It could have been a whole different story.
I agree with that.
But I'm not saying, again, even me saying that, it doesn't mean that the Cowboys would have lost. But the way that the Jets offense was moving could have given... If you plug in Aaron Rodgers and I guess the ball is able to move more and the Jets defense can have more time to rest, it could have been a closer matchup, in my opinion.
Here's my okay, I'm going to address something that you just said about the whole Diggs thing, right? I think that he definitely would have. He got, right? I think that just happens. Garrett Wilson didn't have any big plays. To be honest, we'll look at the stat line.
Just the one touchdown.
He just had the one touchdown, and that was for 68 yards, right? Garrett Wilson ended up having...
And that was on a cross, so it's like...
Right, and he had 2 receptions, 83 yards. You take the 68 one away, and that's because not necessarily... And that was on Gilmore.
It wasn't good. Yeah, it wasn't good.
And Gilmore was on him. Gilmore was on his hip. Hooker didn't make the tackle. But if you look at the one deep, he knocked that ball away. Like, he had a lot. He had 8 targets and only 2 receptions. Now, the touchdown was definitely something that would have been on Diggs. But I think that happens in football. Nobody, even, like I said, it happens to Sherman, to anybody.
Yeah.
But I think that he's significantly better than people are giving him credit for. Because he affects the game not only in coverage, he's a cornerback that comes up in tackles, he forces fumbles, he does a lot of things that I don't think that you see on tape that shows up stat-wise. But another point to go to him about the way that it ended up, I think that the Jets' offense was also a big problem. Breece Hall had 4 touches? What? Cooks had 4. They totaled to have 8 touches combined.
Absurd.
And that's ridiculous. I don't understand it. I get it if you get stopped, but you're going to trust Wilson more than Breece Hall and Cooks?
Like I said, the Jets, they could have played a better game. I don't think they would have won regardless, but it could have been a more competitive matchup in my opinion. Dallas looks good. Not taking anything away from Dallas.
Right.
Like I said, right now, if I had to choose, they're the best team in the league. In the NFC, Dallas, San Francisco, and then us, Philly.
The next one we have Washington Commanders versus Denver, with Washington winning 35-33 because of a missed extra 2-point conversion.
Not because of that. I think Russell Wilson. They had didn't they have a 21-point lead themselves? Or they were up by at least 2 scores. I think it was 22-7. It was something like that.
They were definitely up.
They were up though. I don't know what it is about Russell Wilson in Denver. I thought Coach Sean Payton would have had those boys ready to play. The Commanders, Sam Howell is not a great quarterback. It's not like they had freaking Taylor Heineke, Chase Young being back was huge as well.
Yeah.
The Commanders are one of those. The thing about the Commanders, the Redskins, whatever you want to call them, they've always been one of those pesky teams, man. They're just super pesky.
Yeah.
But for Denver to not close it out and in their own turf at Mile High Stadium with that altitude, Russell Wilson looks like a shell of himself still. In my opinion, he's always been a top 5 quarterback when he was with the Seahawks.
Yeah, he was like a first ballot Hall of Famer.
So it's but
now
his career, as far as his legendary status, he's gonna make the Hall of Fame. I'm not saying he's not gonna make the Hall of Fame, but
will he though?
Not first ballot anymore.
Do you think he should even make it? That's an argument to be had.
I think he should make it.
On what? On what principle?
Just based on his Seattle career. Yeah. You make it to the Super Bowl back-to-back years, and you should have won back-to-back rings. Yeah. I get it, bro, but I'm just saying the argument is to be had. That's how the conversation is to be had. But the Seattle offense was still good, even though the
but it's still good now.
Was a thing. Yeah.
And then he's not doing good with Jared Jeudy and with Cortland Sutton.
I will say, I'm not going to take it as far as him being a question of being in the Hall of Fame, but I will take it to maybe he's not first ballot anymore. Unless he turns this season around with Denver, I don't think he's first ballot anymore. That's what I'd say about Russell Wilson.
I'm not going to speak on Russell too much because I personally was rooting for Russell because like Jalen, I liked what he brought personality-wise to a team. I like his professionalism. Although he acts like an undercover cop that's going to sell weed on the streets. Does anybody have any reefer? Huh? Come on, guys, hook a brother out. That type of stuff. But besides that, I think I know what the problem is for Denver. Coach said it. Stop kissing babies. Focus on the game. Don't focus on anything else. Don't let people be a distraction. I'm not saying that football is your life, but it's your job. Do your job. I think that the numbers don't do it justice. He had 300 yards today, but I don't think that he had that going into the end of the game. It was just desperate plays, lackadaisical defense. I personally believe that he deserved the boost that he got. And it's not all him, but he has a role to play. At one point, he was 11 for, 20, 21. And I was like, 50%? What? In Washington's defense isn't
Outside of Chase Young.
Outside of, it's Sweat.
Yeah.
Their line. Outside of their line.
Yeah.
The cornerback. Who are their cornerbacks? Exactly. But we know their receivers. They got Mims from OU. They got
Terry McLaurin.
No, I'm talking about Denver.
Oh, Jerry
Judy, yeah, and Mims from OU, top pick. Like, you got 3 good receivers. You should be tearing that defense up.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm tired of talking about this. More trash in the NFC East, and they beat them. So Miami versus New England. Wow. Yeah, talk about that.
Belichick, just a defensive guru. He made Miami beat him up front as
Yeah.
opposed to downhill.
Yeah.
No pun intended with Tyreek Hill. Yeah, I thought it was a hard-fought game. I thought that the Patriots had a chance, but it turns out again, Mac Jones is just not that guy. They did it against the Eagles. They did it again against the Dolphins. They don't have a closer.
Yeah.
Patriots are 0-2, but they could have, if they had a closer like a Tom Brady, they would have closed out those first 2 games, and they just weren't able to do it. Offensively, Miami did what they had to do when they had to do it.
Right.
But they didn't look as explosive as they did in Week 1.
Agreed. I don't have anything else to really talk about when it comes to that. I think that it was a hard fought game. It was good for Sunday Night Football, but Tua looked like he could have been more polished than what he was. Mac Jones definitely didn't deliver when he needed to, but the defense looked solid. And they don't even have Ramsey for Miami yet. Like, that's what throws me.
They're gonna get better too.
They're gonna get better. Like, Chubb looked nice, and so we'll see. Next game, New Orleans versus Carolina.
I don't have much to say. I didn't watch the game. Didn't watch highlights.
I didn't want to watch the game.
New Orleans wins, sure.
Yeah, Derek Carr plays like
the best quarterback on that team is Taysom Hill,
which says a lot. That says a lot. Cleveland versus Pittsburgh.
That was a sneaky good game.
Yeah,
I would say it was really good. Pittsburgh's defense balled out when they had to. T.J. Watt.
Pickett is not it. I'm sorry to say this. Pickett isn't it because you have Pickens and you just refused to hit him for. And then he finally started hitting him, and he started going off.
Play,
he just kept going off. And then Najee Harris. I'm really disappointed in him. I thought that he was going to be. I don't know if it's the blocking. I don't know if it's because he's not explosive.
The fact that Kenny Pickett, the knock on him is that he has small hands. It sure as hell looks that way.
Yeah. I think it would have been. By the way, shout out to Nick Chubb, for a gruesome hit, bro.
Shit,
I hope that he gets better, man. That was crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I mean, and definitely shout out to the person I'm playing in fantasy this week. Actually, my barber. Her name is Stephanie. She had Chubb, so sorry, Stephanie, but I'm winning again this week.
You heartless piece of. All right, we're gonna do the quick picks. All right, here we go. First, Thursday night matchup: New York Giants versus San Francisco.
Next.
Come on, at least dignify the fans with the pick.
San Francisco 48-0.
Yeah, I'm thinking 55 because it's gonna be terrible. I'm never gonna see a beat in this one. All right, next game: Tennessee versus Cleveland.
Cleveland at home.
Yeah, I'm going Cleveland. All right, Atlanta at Detroit.
Detroit at home.
I'm going Detroit too.
No, yeah,
New Orleans versus Green Bay.
Green Bay at home.
Yeah, I'm going Green Bay because New Orleans is trash. Denver versus Miami.
Miami.
I'm not even going to dignify that. Los Angeles Chargers versus Minnesota. Oh, Toilet Bowl City.
They're like a mirror of each other. Both teams that have great rosters always have talent.
0-2 versus 0-2.
Do
right?
well in the regular season, and they just choke when the time is right. And apparently for both of them, time is always right. Let's go Minnesota. Since it's in Minnesota, let's just go Minnesota. If the Chargers start 0-3, y'all are dumb as hell, boy.
Yeah, you know what, Big? I don't like the coach, and I like Kirk Cousins, but I like Herbert too, man. I'm just gonna go Minnesota too, man. I just don't have faith in Keelan Moore and what he's doing. So,
No.
Is Eckler gonna be playing? Do you know?
I don't know, but I like Jefferson. I like Jordan Addison. Addison's playing. He's balling out, by the way. Addison's balling out.
That's my pick. Offensive Player of the Year. Rookie of the Year.
I like Jefferson. I like Addison. I like Madison, actually.
Who's that running back?
Madison. He's not top tier, but I feel like he fits that team specifically. I like Hawkinson. I just feel like Minnesota at home. It's just a better chance.
I agree. All right, New England versus New York Jets.
Is that New York?
It's at New York.
Jets.
I'm going Pittsburgh. New England. I feel like they're going to bounce back. Matt had an opportunity to win the game, but he didn't against Miami, and they're a good team. I just don't have faith in Zach Wilson. I feel like he's just an entitled little chump who gets to play because, the big dog's out the game.
Yep.
Next, Buffalo versus Washington.
Ooh. It could be a trap game for Buffalo, but I expect that they'll eventually pull it out. I'll go with Buffalo.
I agree. I'm going Buffalo as well. Houston versus Jacksonville.
Jacksonville.
It's a boring game, but I'm going Jacksonville.
No.
Indianapolis versus Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Ooh. I'm going Indianapolis. Baltimore's a pretender.
Yeah, but what are the Colts?
I just don't believe in Baltimore, bro.
But they're playing in Baltimore. They're playing against, I don't know, is Richardson going to be okay? I mean, he had a concussion. I'm sure he's going to be fine.
Well, the better quarterback's going to be playing if he's not. So
even if it's Richardson or Gardner Minshew, they're not beating Baltimore in Baltimore. It's not happening.
I'm just going to go with Indianapolis. Yeah. I just don't have faith in there. The defense is nice, but their offense looks very, very, very stagnant.
Hit Bateman more, bro.
Yeah, you should
hit Bateman more. What are you doing, bro? Makes no sense.
Carolina versus Seattle.
Seattle,
for sure. Chicago versus Kansas City.
Kansas City.
I'm not even. Damn, make it hard. Dallas versus Arizona.
Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas. I'm not even.
Arizona for the upsets.
Pittsburgh versus Las Vegas.
Vegas. It's in Vegas.
I'm going Pittsburgh, man. Vegas always lets me down. The Raiders are just. Y'all not gonna win, man. I don't know. I don't have faith in it. Philly versus Tampa Baker.
Tampa Baker, your magical season ends week 3, buddy. We're winning this game. Philly 3-0.
I think this is gonna be a wake-up call. It's gonna be tough for them.
I hope.
I think that their strength for Tampa Bay is the weakness
for Philly. The passing game.
You got Godwin and you got Evans against. Is Slay gonna be back?
Slade, yes. No, you're talking about.
You're talking about
Bradbury. Yeah, he's gonna be back.
It'll be interesting. I think that's arguably one of the games of the week. So, but I'm gonna go Tampa Bay. Lost. What? Damn! I can't even just choose who I think is gonna win.
Ridiculous, bro. All right.
Los Angeles Rams versus.
Don't bet your money on this guy. But go ahead.
Los Angeles Rams versus Cincinnati Bengals.
Cincinnati, okay, enough is enough, bro. You have to win. You have to win one game. Cincinnati.
My favorite quarterback in the league is Joe Burrow, and I'm gonna say he's gonna go 0-3.
What?
Yeah.
Yo, oh my.
I'm going with the Rams. I'm going with the Rams because I know that their cornerback was our cornerback in Awuzie, and he's about to get lit up like a Christmas tree on the 24th of December. So.
If that happens, bro, I swear.
I think so. I don't think that they're where they need to be. And they got Aaron Donald going after a gimpy Joe. Stop it.
Hopefully Arizona upsets Dallas then. I'm going to go with Arizona.
If they do, then it'll just be a wake-up call for us. But I don't see it happening. Yeah. Not with Dobbs. I don't know why. Is my man hurt? A little bit.
Kyler Murray towards ACL in December, so he's at least out till like November, December. Yeah.
Where did Dobbs go to school? Exactly. That's what I'm thinking that's going to be told. We don't know much about him. He can ball, but I don't know if he's going to have enough for that defense.
I don't even know. I don't even know what.
So, those are our picks for the week. That was week 3. It'll be an interesting one. Like I said, if you want to make some money, if you want to do some good things with your fantasy, look at the teams that we chose and go with it. Personally, I think you should go with me over this guy because I know what I'm talking about. I'm not saying he doesn't know, but you know how that goes.
He mentioned fantasy, and all 3 of my leagues I'm 2-0. So
okay. Who you playing?
What do you mean, Mike? Oh, my teams?
Your team? Yeah. No. Are you? Who are you?
I have 3 teams, but
are you playing like in a league that you created, or are you playing like with people at work?
I'm playing with a league from like my barbershop. It's like a bunch of barbers and like their clients.
They don't know football. They know haircuts.
I'm playing in a league from my old coworkers in Florida.
Okay.
And I'm playing in a work league. But in every league, I'm 2-0. And these people do know football, like us.
They know football?
They know football.
Why they losing?
Because they're playing against me. Duh. Simple. Because they're playing against me.
All right. Well, look. You got something to conclude the show with? What you got?
Just keep watching, keep supporting. We appreciate everybody that's already tuning in. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Hit the little bell so you can get our notifications. And Crow and Oso Show, we're just getting started, baby. Week 3 of many more to come.
Like you said, we want to appreciate everybody for tuning in and whatnot. We don't take any of y'all's views or likes for granted.
Yeah.
So like I said, man, this is it. And also, when we talk about players, we're not talking about you personally. We don't know. We're talking trash. We're doing what we do in barbershops, like we talked about, or in restaurants, or people do on the job. This is our passion. We love the game. And, you know, keep doing your thing. Prove us wrong. Don't look at it as something personal. Prove us wrong. Hurts.
Prove me wrong, Dallas. Play good in December and January, Dallas. Prove me wrong, Dallas.
All right, that's our show, man. We gonna holler at y'all later. Peace.
Fire.